This is a poem about firewood. Pieces of wood piled and burnt under the blue moonlight of the African skies. Around this fire sat men, women, and children, thrilled by the crackling wood and floating ash. As this fire was a stage, a library of stories told from one generation to the next, and we know Africans thrive on stories. So this wood has been used to preserve history. There's a tale about ants and why worms stay beneath the ground. At a feast with old men and animals, an ant, probably high on a little bit of booze, proclaimed in the face of worms that no animal could defeat the ants in battle, especially not the slithering worms. The worms took great offense and immediately almost broke into a fight, as with most African feasts. But the king requested to move the fight to a later day, so that both parties could prepare adequately for battle. When the day came, the worms lay on their bellies in wait for their ants. They had scattered themselves, each waiting with his own rage. But when the ants appeared, they marched like an earthquake, holding lines like one large rock on a withering earth. They moved in teams, with each group clustering thousands and only focused on their collective roles. So the soldiers stood with the sword-sharp pincers in wait. The scouts raised their tentacles, reading and sharing signals in the midst of battle, and the workers, ready to bring food, water, and take out tiring soldiers. The battle was over in seconds, and surviving worms slithered deep into the ground in fear, and to this day, worms find refuge in the ground. But this poem is not about stories. It's about firewood. For we can never run out of stories. We will always tell the tales of the dodos and make movies about dinosaurs. We will paint the majesty of the black rhino and brush black strokes of the tenacious island tiger. We will walk past deserts and reminisce on the dried up oasis while singing about plunging waterfalls. We will write about the sunrise that appeared as we slept and storms that we fought through the winter. We will read about the myths of bumper harvests and the luxury of backyard gardens. We will tell the stories of how we wore bikinis in summer and how the sun was once a friendly star who massaged our skin. But stories have never been our problem. It's the firewood. It's the firewood that brings us from our homes to sit around it and tell stories. And like the worms, we lay individually, each with their own rage about the changing climate. So yes, we know about the emissions, the plastics and the cutting down of trees, but Africa and many other developing regions who stand to suffer more from the effects of climate change are simply calling on the world to be more like ants, to take collective responsibility, for it is not about who started the fight but more on who stands to end it, because in the end, we are all affected. So some of you can stand with the expertise of how we can recycle, reuse, or how to efficiently go green. Others can stand with their finances, the monetary muscle needed to recover, refuel, and give hope to those living without it. And there's those who stand to do, to actualize the ideas, the plans, to get the work done. This story is about firewood, burnt and sat around to tell stories of loss and damage caused by climate change. But if all we do is talk, all we do is plan, look at facts and prevailing stats, we are just burning more wood. And it's just a matter of time before we all slither into the ground like the worms who failed to fight as one. So ask yourself, where do you stand?